for the cue. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, YouTube Agile Loungers on the stream. Welcome on this Tuesday, July the 7th. I'm your host. Yes, I'm your Agile host, podcaster, Agile coach, husband and wife. No, not yet. But nevertheless, I welcome you to this special live vlogcast that we do live from the Crew Collective. And let me show you again the proof that we are at this magnificent building in the old Montreal. Look at that ceiling. So probably, yes, it's quite a challenge that I do with a Blue Yeti. And this, I don't know how many feet away, very echoing. So for the purists of the total blog and vlog and podcast, perfect sound with my gain, especially this. So right now, I will tell you that that's not important. It's not the content that's it. I mean, like the frame that's important. Again, when you do real agility, when you do true agile stuff, what you'd like to actually achieve and continuously deliver value, the value of the message, the value of the analysis that we are going to do. And so I welcome you guys already. Already 2 likes on YouTube. YouTube, you rock. On Facebook, it's not that you don't rock, but even if it's a tie right now, we have 89 Agile Loungers on Facebook. And yeah, let me record it because I don't want to lose it. All right, so this is set. Waiting for my guest that will come in the next hour. So we're going to do an hour on this. Not to take some time. So maybe it's your pre-launch with us. Maybe it's something. So Tuesday, July the 7th, once again, with Coach AF, yours truly from the Agile Lounge. We think, my 3 coaches and I, that we are truly the best in business agility to help organization, teams, manager becoming leader, entrepreneur making sure that what they are actually achieving is not just anymore about the earned value management that the PM buck it's always pushing. And you're going to see right now, for those of you who are still not convinced that this crisis, this pandemic, it's actually an accelerator. We are going to show it to you. We are going to show it to you also objectively, agnostically, that on the macro and microeconomy, on the social issue, and even though the politics, so it's like politics right now, instead of being the forefront, of the how do we organize together. It seems that I'll talk because I need to set up a couple of things. So I'll keep talking and show you the beautiful place that I am here right now. And I work here since 2016. So yes, so the purpose of this upcoming show, this upcoming vlogcast, I said, on the Agile Lounge and through also our podcast, is going to be also a recast on our podcast, They're Real Agile. It's because I would like to show up in the world, and if my 2 guests joins later, one is an economist, another one is also a consultant on business strategy, and we would like to talk about it on an agnostic way. An agnostic way for me, it's mean that could it be true, could it be wrong? And we're going to use the visual, especially for those on Facebook, and for my fellow Agile Loungers on YouTube. We are going live right now. You won't see that much. I invite you to switch to the link below in the comment if you'd like to actually. Let me do it for you right now. Okay, thank you, Anna. All right, so let me try this. So we seems to be live everywhere we could with the free stuff. let me know for my friend. So Anna, could you put the link on the chat of YouTube? Yes. Thank you so much, Anna. So guys, as I said, it's a tide right now. It's a, it's just funny. Like we have 88 followers on YouTube, Agile Lounge, and we have 89 followers on the Facebook things. Yours truly, right now, as you may notice or know, I'm still okay. Don't worry about me. I'm still okay. All my contracts are suspended, especially those in the United States. So that's good. Start again somewhere in August, September. So I'm kind of and I did reinvent myself, providing services to a lot of people on in digital marketing and so on. But I don't want to spend. I cut all the spending mostly, except for those like here at the Crew Collective that I have to pay again since July 1st. I said, like, why not going there, meeting a nice client this morning on face-to-face at 2 meters, no mask, but at 2 meters, like on each side of the table, I was approximately this 1.5 to 2 meters, 6 feet. But nevertheless, it was great to come back here because we didn't come back here since March 5th, in my case, except for a little visit in May for the cafe only. And so what I'm talking about here is this, as you could see right now, this great place that I love so much with Christina that I shout out, Caroline, and the social media girl. What's her name again? That awesome person, especially on Instagram in my case, that I could follow. But anyway, all the team here, the team make the crew happen, and I'm a crew member since the beginning. They opened, and I like that very much. And I also miss my place, a similar place like this in Bryant Park, Manhattan. And if any of you in New York, my fellow business agilists in New York who are watching this, I love you so much. I praise you. I give you, and I bid you like very, very warm recovery because I know you've been hit, I think, harder because you're a real city compared to Montreal. So before going really on the subject in about 5 minutes, I just like to set up things. So yes, so my great Agile Loungers on YouTube, Anna just put a link on the chat if you'd like to see the visual that will start at 11:15, and we are recording it, so which means that we are going to do an edit. And when I say an edit here, it's always unscripted, uncut. We speak the true self authentically because we know what we're talking about, so we don't need any script. We just have a kind of a guidance, and the guidance today will be the website of the World Economic Forum with the upcoming forum in Davos in January 2021, that it's called the Great Reset. And as you saw, Christine Lagarde, when she went out of the International Monetary Fund, she made a speech about the need of a reset, and her successor, I don't remember her name, but the successor, she's also a woman. So you see, women are everywhere now. And is it a great thing? Is it a great? I don't know, because we are agnostic. So we're just asking question here, if it's true or if it's not true, and we will try to present you not their speech about the reset and the Great Reset, but what does that mean for all of us, business, entrepreneur, leader, owner, small, medium, large business. And as you see, yes, of course, I have a bias because I'm a true business agilist. I'm a children of Mike Beadle and Steve Denning. Steve Denning, on my website, I use this code on my page dedicated to business agility that will be actually upgraded very soon. 1111. I like that. Thank you, Anna. So yes, the future of management is business agility. And as Mike Beadle said, business agility is the true revolution of Agile. It's the real Agile. And yes, we love developers and engineers, but please, guys, please, even though the revolution was made by 17 of your fellow, mostly they were all programmer and developer and engineer, depending on how you'd like to call yourself on your level of study and such. But the thing is, you made a great call. You made a great noise in 2001. But moving forward, moving onward, business agility was around even before, a year before, with Mike Beadle and Ken Schwaber. They were discussing about if we are just doing Scrum project management or Scrum way or any kind of lean ID that include Kanban only with the developers, we won't achieve anything in that revolution that was starting. Because of course, most of the principle, especially one principle that I cherish a lot, it's about having business and IT working close together with the customer, with the user, to please them. So this is often forget in large scale enterprise. They say they are agile, but actually it's water, scrum, fall, as one said in the Go-To conference in 2015. I don't remember his name right now, but that was great. So this is the mindset, guys, when we talk about their real agile. We don't want a pointing finger, except for the fake agile series, of course. I'm going to pointing finger because the Scrum way, it's to calling out violation of principles and values that we agree together to make a better and smarter world. Not just of work, but it's everything. And right now, what I see after 70 years of the Bretton Woods type of economic scheme and model, the World Economic Forum in Davos in January 2021 would like to propose us. Is this a proposition? Or, of course, because that forum works like this. It's kind of a think tank. They gather people from all field of business, politics, and economy, and science. And they talk and they propose things. And they also have like different workshop. And from these workshops, they will create some... for lack of a better word, let's call it agency and so on. So it's almost 11:15 as promised. I'm going to switch the camera towards myself and start sharing the screen. So again, my 5-6 fellow on YouTube, if you'd like to see now it's not a presentation, but as we go and talk, we showed you what are the propositions. We showed you what is the idea behind the Great Reset. And we are sure in our analysis that we had started, especially with the freedom lifestyle pillar of the Agile Lounge, helping entrepreneur and investor getting the best out of their investment for return on investment. We saw the trend in economy having going down to a recession, and then we didn't have the recession itself because there's a lot of things going on in the fiscalization of our economy and so on. So stock market recession, it's all KPI indicator that was telling us that something will hit us. And then this COVID-19 came up, and most of us, the HPI people, the QLA people, we saw more opportunity. And when I say opportunities here, I am not, but absolutely not talking about anyone who just evolve and reorganize. Hi guys, reorganize himself or herself into selling hygiene product or Medicare product or stuff like this. Absolutely not. I'm talking about those of us who saw in a larger scale of having the opportunity of moving onward, and even in the agile way. Then again, Montreal deceived me as my colleague around the world. We were having Zoom discussion up front this March 16, talking about how could we now have more argument to take these opportunities for not just remote agile, but everything that touched the fact that we had entering with this pandemic into a full-on VUCA. And instead of using fear, like most of my colleagues unfortunately do, they use the fear factor to sell transformation to agile, and they do it like a very fluffy way. No. This is a great opportunity for all of us, actually, to transform the world of work, to transform the community, the way we live together. And no, we are still free thinker. We still have the free choice, the free will. It's really important to remember that we are responsible adults. Another manifesto agile principle. Let's create and continuous value and services and proposition among autonomous people, self-organized. So this is the thing, guys. This is very, very important to understand, because this is the mindset behind any of you out there who call it a method, a methodology, a project framework, a product development framework. You could at some point, if it's your context, if it's pleasing you, I don't care. Really, I don't care. I'm not scared and I don't care. I'm just authentic. My guests that will come are authentic too. We are going to give you facts. We are going to give you what the World Economic Forum, what some elites are proposing to us. There's going to be another crash this summer or early this September. The macroeconomic, the economic itself is what it is. And when they talked about a great reset, and if you read the speech of Christine Lagarde again, it's more than reforming the Bretton Woods kind of model and framework we are in since the last World War. Actually, it's been 70 years that nothing very drastically happened. Some things happened in the early 70s and also with the OPEC crisis in 77. But I mean, and some people will say like in 2008, the crack of 2008 and the bubble, the mortgage bubble and the Panama paper. But then again, nothing really changed. And this is the same with this COVID crisis. When it happened, I remember on LinkedIn, all the people, some people like the more HPI people and the more QLA people, and HPI stands for high performance individual, high performance intellectual and intelligent people, and the QLA it's a quality leading advanced people. So all of these people with this mindset, entrepreneurial mindset, dynamic mindset, hyperactive mindset, they saw the real opportunity of, okay, this is the time now we show up in the world and we make sure that we won't end up into a too much technocratic expert leading. Okay, because as you remember, in Agile, there's no Agile expert. It's only experimenting people, doing empirism altogether, putting people first over everything else. So that's the thing. So when you're gonna see later on the directly from the site of World Economic Forum, and there is no there is no agenda here. We'd like to present you information that's going to be discussed in the forum in January of 2021, and we are already in it now, because you could see the way the public authority, the way some organization, especially the big corporation, they are making us this accelerator, using COVID as an excuse to accelerate these things. But we believe as business agilists that we have a say on it. We have to bring back the value of the manifesto, making it alive, actionable, and making sure that, as if you'd like to call me business agile coach, go ahead. But as entrepreneur, as business owner, as a citizen, we have a say on it, because the digital transformation now, it's not just for you to make a beautiful e-commerce website with transactional payment, nor it is to convert everything you have into a cloud systems. No, it will be everything about digital identity. And we believe, as we believe agile and business agility is decentralized, that too should be decentralized, not centralized into government or public organization. We should have the ownership and the self-managed, self-organization of our digital identity that will include everything. It's completely a digital twin that's coming. So for anyone out there who have product development project, we would like to welcome you in the Agile Lounge to build a team of people, of HPI and QLA people, who would like to work towards digital transformation with these real digital issue of the 2020s, the next decade, to make sure that this data it's owned by us, it's portable, and that will need a lot of business agility, guys, to do this. Let me tell you, it's going to be incredible in that sense. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Let me do a tour with my girls. It's what was the name of the thing again? Like, I don't remember. So here it is. Ah, that's what you were trying to tell me. Why is Facebook? Okay. No. Facebook, I don't know. On Facebook, could you guys comment if you're still there? Because apparently it was out for some people on some browser. So let us know. All right, so let me maybe shut down a couple of things. I don't know if William Bergner, is he here? Not yet? Okay. Great coffee. So guys, okay, so this is the Facebook. All right, so anyways, I will let you, Anna and Elizabeth, deal with all these social media. Just ping me on the chat, not the chat, but my SMS, if you want me to answer someone or what have you. And when William Besner will be actually there. All right, so without further ado, let's do it. So again, YouTube people, for this cast, it's going to be reproduced, not edit, because again, if we do edition, it's going to be logo stuff. It's going to be maybe some kind of visual added to it. But of course, for my YouTube subscriber that I cherish a lot, you are going to have this live rebroadcast again later this week. The full show that you could actually see live right now on our Facebook page. And I would like to apologize for any podcaster, because I know you hate to listening to a podcast, but this one is made for multi-channel. And we are going to actually, hold on a second. Yes, all right. Here we have it. Just want to show you how it is. Yeah, so for those who might listen this into a podcast while doing jogging or something else, I would like to apologize in advance that you will hear a lot of, do you see this or hear this? So I will try to probably be a bit more like if I am speaking to anyone without saying, showing it. You'll see what I mean by this. So let's do this. So here you have it. All right, so as you could see here, we are on the official and main website of the World Economic Forum, the WEF. And of course, they're showing in the background, they have a lot of money, those guys, to build this kind of reset. So you see, the main title, it's the Great Reset. When you get there, and they showed you demonstration, they showed you image of nature, they showed you a lot of image, of course, with people mask and astronaut with SpaceX probably, it's people in subway, pandemic, fire, a lot of things, and global warming, stuff like this. And the tagline is, there is an urgent need of global stakeholders, and I consider myself a global stakeholders, not just those at the top of whatever, to cooperate and simultaneously managing the direct consequences of, you see, they use this as an opportunity. Never let a crisis go to waste. Teach us, Mr. Churchill, at the creation of the UN, actually. To improve the state of the World Economic Forum is starting the Great Reset Initiative. So it's an initiative. The Great Reset is not a date somewhere in 2021. It's actually here right now. Okay? So this is the context. The context is whether you are someone who believes in the sort of conspiracy theory, or you believe what the mainstream is telling you or not telling you. Here in plain sight, it's the objective reality. These are the think tank. These are the people that gather together for years in Davos, Switzerland, discussing on everything political, economic, and social. Okay, and they try to propose solution. It's a think tank. All right. So when they propose something, and there's political leaders, government chief, country leaders, business, big corporation, science project student, technological. There's a lot of people that gather around those kind of elites. They like to call themselves elites, but I prefer the term HPI again and QLA, which is again high performance individual, because the elite goes with the amount of money that you have more than what words in your mouth or what intelligence you have. And HPI could be from all walk of life. If we listen to them, if we actually give them a space to develop something, they will actually be able also to propose a solution and what have you. So the context is there. They're using the crisis, and I don't want to debate here. Is it the true viral pandemic or not? Is it high risk, low risk? The thing is, it's there. They're using it, and they said it's disrupting the political, the economic, and the social. And when we say why business agility should be and will be at the forefront for those who will survive, especially in business, but also in government, the civil agility, huh? Yeah. And we need open space. We need the people to talk about it and propose solution actively and workshop, okay, on how do we manage it. And we believe that with the agile value and mindset and all the principle of self-managing teams and self-organized teams, we should actually move onward to these type of idea, to build community, to build organization, to build business around those principles, and to make sure that it's not centralized. It have to be decentralized. It have to be substantion. Substantion, again, is the dynamic of interrelation in physics, but I think socially and psychologically, it could be applied to a group of people that interact together, because this is what we want. Okay, so right now we say COVID, it's an accelerator because we use it as a crisis that not have to go to waste. But unfortunately, there could be 2, 3, 4 agenda into those propositions, and we would like to make sure that whether apparently do we choose it. So that's the thing. Okay, if we are moving on into a more technocratic society with the leading by what we call the expert management, instead of having a community self-management. So here's the thing: a technocratic society will actually use expert to tell us what to do and how to do this. And if we moved into a more agile society, into a more circular economy, yes, because circular economy will also solve the issue of any ecological matter, because in a circular economy. So you see, there's a lot of ways, and this is why I am calling out all business agilist people, all agile people, to especially if you like us understand that it's no more just for development team, that you see this opportunity of the fourth revolution, industrial revolution, with the web 3.1, with the digital transformation that I talked a little bit earlier. So we have to come together and use this real and true agile revolution that is business agility, that everyone have that mindset of substantiation of our interaction together. Open space matter of the great Michael Ehrman, that he explained us into another vlogcast 2 weeks ago, about the importance of gathering together, not just to talk, but to walk the talk, to propose things, because this is exactly what they do at the World Economic Forum since about 25 some years. Okay, especially that happened like at the same time that the Perestroika and the Berlin Wall fall. So I'm telling you, I know these things since 1991. I was only 16, 17 years old back then, starting in college, and I knew it. Not because I'm not an astronomer, but it's just like you look at the human trend, you look at the system trend, and it's been there for 25 years because they thought that the new world will emerge after the end of the Cold War. And this is where, and when VUCA been switched from the political realm of intelligence into business, and this is actually 10 years later, the Agile Manifesto was actually a big noise, not just for the revolution of developers, but to say to the business, you guys, with all this digital thing, with all this internet, the web, especially the web on top of the internet, and everything that will be digitalized, and all our ways of life changing by using tools and stuff and technology and networking and communication, that will create this kind of amount of VUCA. So the last 20 years now, so we are here in 2020, and we saw it coming, because after 20 years in this new millennium, according to I don't know who, but we are apparently in the third millennium now for sure. So things didn't change that much. We're still using fossil fuel. We're still doing business as usual. People coming at work, they don't have telework and so on. So I see some positive into the context here. They're using the crisis, the COVID crisis, and the opportunity. Again, it's totally like the opportunity is how do we recover from this, and how do we starting back the business. So this is why a lot of people will use the kind of oh, this is a new normal. But be careful with that, because you're being conditioned. We at the Agile Lounge and the consortium of conscious agility that we are creating, we would like to actually bring you to be part of it, to walk the talk. Okay, it's really important that we find out more about the Great Reset and togetherness, and we make our voice heard. We could have entrepreneur, businesses, political actor also coming together and making sure that what we will develop as digital identity, whether it's here in Quebec or in the United States, in the digital currency, and all those files with a real peer-to-peer using blockchain initiative, to preserve our anonymity and our sovereignty of ourselves. When I say there's going to be a digital twin, and again, about free will, if some people doesn't want to go inside the grid, let's call it like this, or inside any of the proposition, whether it's from the WEF, the World Economic Forum, whether it's from the Business Agility Summit Institute, whether it's from wherever and from whoever, we still have to give our fellow citizen the choice to actually retract from it. It's all about choice. We are coming here on this planet to make an experience. It's empirical. And so this is the danger with the context and opportunity. And as you can see, sorry again for the podcaster, the Great Reset is a unique twin summit that will begin in 2021. So they're going to do it different also, because, of course, when you'd like to propose something different, you have to do it different yourself. But, there will be an astonishing amount of speakers. Okay. I won't name it, all of it, and what have you, but you could see it for yourself. I will put the link in the description of all the videos, and you'll be able to actually go by yourself, read all the stuff. Here, what I'd like to show, and I'm still waiting for William Fasman to come with the economic 3 ways. Otherwise, I will do it alone, because I'd like to close it at around 12:15, let's say. So he should have been there right now. So anyway, let me continue to explain you the Great Reset and why business agility should be at the forefront of it, and should be also the element of having us evolve and be part of it. Because with business agility, whether it's a business, whether it's an organization, whether it's a community, in a local community, with the principle of self-management, self-organization, subvention, and transparency, okay, and adaptation, we should be the one deciding and proposing the choice, because free will is exactly this. To have free will is because you build and togetherness the choice that you could all make with proposition, ideas, and so and if you uncover something new, if you get new information empirically, again, you might change the frame of choice. But if we let it to a technocratic society again, with a society of experts, we have the risk of losing that free will and this self-organized and self-managed way of our community and businesses. So this is why the great reset that's coming. But that's coming. It's already there because it's been like 3 months. We use measure. We use sanitary measure right now. This is a preparation. And as my great colleague in Austin, Texas, the True Stream Media, inviting you to go to their YouTube channel. They are amazing. The link will be in the description as well. These guys are very amazing. It's everything. They talk about everything: sociological, economical, political, and so on 2 different type of perspective. It's never like the same. But anyways, though they don't have an editorial edit, but the thing they did one thing, one really great thing. And for those of you who think in business we should not talk about love, but you're wrong, and we should not talk about things that we don't see, you're wrong too. So what they show, it's they took all the WHO measure and proposed measure that the states and the sanitary public safety put forward, and when they put it forward, they are actually showing that whether it's what they call social distancing, but at the Agile we call it social physical distancing, confinement, wearing a facial protection, and what have you. All these things are part of a kind of a ritual and are part of our remodeling of our mindset of a paradigm, because this is it. The Great Reset is actually a call, especially on the economic, to call into a change of paradigm. So it's totally agile. It's totally business agility in a sense, because it's have to be an onward proposition of changing our livelihood. But again, the risk in that sense is, because I don't remember my grandfather talking about Bretton Woods, if they actually questioned people about it. Some countries maybe did, like Switzerland, of course, with all their referendum. But the thing is, do we still want a democracy, or we still want even like a real participative democracy with more local government? Because for me, one of my dream, and not to quote Martin Luther King and John Lennon, one of my dream will be this planet as a ground, as a playing ground of cities, autonomous city states, okay, exchanging between them, and now when you choose a place to live, you choose a place to live not just for its scenic and picturesque places. You could also choose it by the way of the livelihood they all choosing together. And for me, as I travel a lot, when I see, especially in the Western world, and even though when I went to Shanghai, I mean, like, kids, it's all the same everywhere. This is kind of poor, because I thought diversity was one of the leader and the driver of this planet, of this human experience, if you'd like to call it like that, or anyway. So for me, that will be very, very nice. Like if I go into the uniqueness of a city, should be expressed by the people that decide something. And of course, if let's say Baltimore is doing something great that Paris could use, why not? This is part of the exchange. But now, more and more, there's a lack of diversity. There's a lack of love in what we propose and do. And this is one of the risks of those 3 ways that the Great Reset, especially organized by the World Economic Forum and commissioned with the United Nations and all these kind of global organizations that try to make it global and more centralized and more control and more technocratic. So I don't think we need this, because on the disguise of a lot of human dignity, social justice, and where societal progress does not fall behind economic development, So you know what? Since 1991, when I start my awakening and I start my journey into becoming my better version and becoming also this agent of transformation. I've always been an agent of transformation. I did politics and I do now agility for about the last 10, 15 years. And it's all about this. It's about transforming our way of life, but not imposing it. So, of course, who cannot agree with those great statements? Huh? A new social contract centered on human dignity, social justice, and where societal progress does not fall behind economic development, and where also ecology should be at the forefront of economy. I don't have any problem with that. But if my guests that's still not showing up on Zoom, William Fechner, that I invited from Frankfurt, Germany, to talk with me about these models. So the model is this: you have a model based on the because what does that mean, social justice? Okay, so I don't want to get into this dividing thing of politics or sociological way of the right and the left that I don't believe anymore for a while now. But it means not the same social justice or economic development, even though societal progress does not mean the same for everyone. And this is why we think that business agility with its decentralized way, you could a lot of when you see people on any field of economic or politics or what have you, talking about how could we have a common ground. We kind of agree on this. That's no problem at all. But I'm always the one saying, like, hold on a second. Have you really thought on what is the common ground for our large of a community, our large of a team? When we say in Scrum that a team should be 9 plus minus 2, because the substantion, again, if you don't understand substantion, you don't understand Scrum, and you don't understand what the F you do when you propose agility to your client or what have you. So here's the thing: there's also always that battle of common ground, agreement, consensus versus diversity, autonomous, and so on. But if you have 7 to 9 people in a team and they have everything we need for the development of this product, because this is how you build team. You build HPI team with HPI people. They will be more able, with the substantial interaction factor, to communicate and have a common ground, a common goal, a great vision, clear vision, visualizing everything we need to do. So for me, with business agility, we push it everywhere. We could agilize everything and everywhere of all size. But the important thing is not Luc Vachon, the CEO of the National Bank, from the top saying, like, here it is, here's the process, here's the procedure. You apply it on every direction, on every aspect. So the mortgage people with myself, it's nothing to do with us at investment funds. The wealth management will say the same. So what could be a common ground for, of course, the brand or the signature of these big corporations? That's one thing. But again, this is a whole mindset, because a true real mindset, I'm not saying to dismantle the big corporation, but what I saw in big corporation in my last 5 years of business agility, especially in Manhattan, because they understand it better than here in Ville-Marie, Montreal, is they really embrace that substantiation and decentralization way. That's the signature pattern of Enterprise Scrum, by the way, and making everything visual with the interaction of other businesses owner within the place. So of course, we have to come together. As I said, my dream will be a world of city-states collaborating together in some regional stuff. But I think the center of decision with substantiation and a decentralized mindset and a blockchain kind of digital, making sure that you own it, is part of the real innovation. This is part of what the Great Reset make me dream of, because my dream is not to resist or being resilient, because we have more choice than resisting it, like all of those crazy people who would like to preserve or being very conservative and keeping the tradition and so on. So for me, that's good, because if, again, they gather together into an open space somewhere in Kansas and they decide, and this sweep stage of Kansas, who would like to live like this, or like the Amish, they'd like to live like this in community, or a great friend here in Outremont, no problem. I have no problem at all. Okay? Because you have the right to free will. You have the right to organize yourself. So this is why, like, you cannot impose an agile transformation. Now I will expect that our world leaders, if they are true leaders and not just manager and technocratic expert, they will actually come forward and propose localized things. And what we saw with COVID, actually, I don't know if you just saw it, but the WHO had a kind of a checklist or things that we could do from the Chinese experience on COVID, and they brought it out to all the countries in the West, especially in the West. And so all of a sudden, Paris, Ottawa, Washington, London, Stockholm, maybe not Stockholm, but they took that list and they apply some kind of new norms to how to manage this pandemic and this risk, and how they shut down the economy and so on. But for me, if William was there, he will explain us exactly. So what happened and what they did was actually, hold on a second, I'm sorry about this. Yeah, so that was actually all based on the Winston Churchill quotes. Never let a crisis go to waste. So let's take this opportunity for us, globalist thinker, technocratic thinker, okay, transhumanist, AI, what have you, and let's move forward. Let's accelerate it. And the acceleration, in a sense, I'm not saying it's good or bad. Again, I'm agnostic. I'm just proposing. I'm just questioning here today with you guys. And this is for me, and I see the opportunities. I don't want to be labeled into a camp to another, because the resistor, they could resist all they want. But if they take that energy and they put love into building their community and making sure that at least what they do is not resist, but localize the thing and make their own choice, they will preserve free will. For those who will be resilient and just accept it, I said, like, no, you still have a say in it. You still have to be part in it. And I know Williams will have to, because right now it's only 15 minutes. Anna told me that she cannot reach him. So I will go along for the next 15 minutes or so, about 12-ish, we're going to finish it. So my message out there here, when I say why business agility, it's needed, will be the way, a mindset, one of the way, not the way actually, but it will be a great asset with all the values that I described to you. Huh? Self-organized people, HPI or not, but it's really important that we leave people organize themselves together, okay, to preserve that free will. And I'm sure that the value and principle of the evolving Agile mindset, Agile manifesto, it's actually there to help us participate in it with the real open space. So if we have an open space and people discuss and they make actionable item after, and everyone see it visually, so we could build community. If we could have built great team that achieve, I think we could also build community and also reorganize the organization we work within. And I had an argument, but actually nobody listening responds, because everybody is so controlled by the fear of transparency. For me, I am going on like a lion right now, a true lion. If you don't like my speech, if you don't like my idea, that will evolve actually, because if you could have an interaction with me, and you might change my mindset, or you might actually, I won't change my mindset, but I will tune my behavior, and I could change my mind on some aspect of the things, because it's so large. There's no only one thing. But so far what I see is a lot of people aren't ready for what's coming. And actually, it's not even coming. It's here right now. The Great Reset, for me, started in 1991. Okay? So it's been 25 years in the coming. So for those who expect the Messiah or a kind of a no, it's not there. Okay, it's already here. The future is now. One said. So that's the thing. We are building the tomorrow right now. The tomorrow is not 2030. It's right now moving forward. So when I said like if we had more intelligent, more HPI authority, like some countries did actually, Denmark, Sweden, they take it on their own and they make their own thing from the WHO checklist. I come back to this. So it's going to be the same thing with the WEF here, the World Economic Forum. They're going to come with a kind of a checklist apparently agreed by those experts and so on. And they will they will actually show you a way instead of ways. But again, it will be very like the WHO. They didn't say apply this into your country. See if this could be good for your community, your country, your provinces, your states, and apply some of it and some of that and this and that. And now it's too soon to have a good retrospective on this and to compare really, because a lot of people have opinion on this, but like, hold on, guys, we are still in it, kind of. I mean, like, it's going to take like 2, 3, 4 years to see if Sweden did the good call compared to United States and France and Italy and what was the other indicator into it. But this is kind of useless. The Great Reset initiative should be something that, as a citizen, as a global stakeholder myself, as someone who believe in cosmopolitanism, who believe in city-states instead of big government, who believe in small government, I don't want to let this crisis and let this initiative going into another Bretton Woods 3.0, let's call it like this, a change of economic, because of course there's 3 ways according to William Fesberg. There's the way of what he called the Khmer, the Khmer Rouge from Cambodia. So they're coming back now, but it's green. It's Khmer green. So those who are very drastic into the ecology, and then we have not to propose, but we have to impose a low livelihood, a controlled livelihood, an economy based on need stuff, and you just rent everything. You don't own anything. So yeah, it could be great. And I don't want even to go because his explanation, he says like there's a lot of eugenism in this, and there's a lot of things that this is like technocracy full on. So he called it the Khmer green, really drastic. And I know there's some think tank here. They talked about it a little bit. If you go and you browse into the Great Reset part website of the WEF, the World Economic Forum, you could find things right there on their website talking about those possibilities that William Fesberg called the Khmer Green. There's the other one is a more circular economy, which is that the right to repair movement could be a great way of observing it. So meaning that instead of buying new thing and creating a lot of waste, we are truly ecologists in the sense that we are only produce what we need to consume, but it's based on our own appreciation and self-organized way of consuming it. And so that's a circular economy. So it's a really big resume right now because you should have a discussion with me about this. And the third ways, it seems like the Great Reset from the WEF would like to propose. It's based on all those. What did he call it again? Let me see it here. Yeah, I think it's a more freestyle, but more agreed ways of a larger community. So I'm not even sure if it's probably like the radical Khmer green, but on a localized perception ways that they're still self-management or they're still kind of adaptation. But any of those ways, except for the first radical drastic ways, because to give you a concrete example of those 3 ways, what they are proposing as a switch of paradigm is all about travel. Will we need a permit more than a passport? We already have a passport that granted the right to move out of our country. Can you imagine that? So how do we reform the passport? Who has the right to travel? Because they'd like to shut down this kind of mass popular travel, because they always say, when you hear someone talking to you about there's too many people doing this, there's too many people there. So the Great Reset also talk, when they say, yeah, there's urgency and what have you, but I don't know how they could propose to preserve our human dignity without the free will of controlling the masses or socializing the masses, but the elite, especially the economic elite, could still have their way around. So either it's a global kind of mer green, as William Fashbird says, of drastic ecological, almost dictatorship, soft dictatorship, or really, really drastic of no, you don't do that anymore because we have to preserve the ecosystem, or it is a full-on savage capitalist that need the socialization of the masses because what will happen with the job, with the automation. So all the question, when I said digital transformation, that is more than website and Web 3.0. It's the fourth revolution, the fourth industrial revolution will bring us to a point like we might say, yeah, that's true. Almost 8 billion people, it's too much for what we need. Is it true? Because this is, for me, a propaganda, because I'm not here to ask you if there's too many people or not enough people, and to see the workforce, people as workforce and people as producing. It's all about producing and consumption. So the Great Reset, for me, my expectation is, could we cut this production consumption ways and leave people self-manage, being autonomous, being nutritionally sovereign. Again, for me, subvention, decentralization will be a great way to observe it. And then you do collaboration into another level of subvention of the interrelation between people and organization. But truly, the Great Reset is a promise for everyone. And when I say everyone, is everyone could choose to live the Yamish way in his community or a full-on savage capitalist in his community. So if you go to that place, you're going to experience it. And if you go to that place, so we need to create a diversity of ways, and my free will and my free movement into these, and respect the will of the people that they choose it. If you impose it to all the country of the Western kind of civilization, which is the Europe and North America, and probably Latin America will follow. It's some part of Southeast Asia, like a kind of Chinese technocratic expert model. I don't think it's beneficial to everyone. And knowing that agile and business agility, it's people first over anything else. Where is the people first human dignity? And to this kind of proposal of controlling and controlling and controlling and controlling even better and better, and something smarter way, if we believe that AI will be able to actually do a lot of self and automation about this. So, and now if you are in a mindset that, oh yeah, but it's not all people who are thinking by themselves. No, but do we let them? Do we give them an open space to do so? Because you'll be surprised sometimes when I talk to people in the streets. Of course, we don't know each other and so on, but everybody has, for all creeds and walk of life, a lot of people have ideas. It's just because we cannot say they are dumb because we are not listening to them. And I think, again, business agility, it's something that give open space, that gives space to people to express themselves. And if you give that space, and I'm not talking about safe space here, open space. And yes, we have to be ready to be challenged. You have to be hard. You have to be disruptive. But what I'm saying is, if it's only the loudmouth or the elite or the expert that shout things, and they are preparing stuff So I don't want to get into a trend of the great reset and the reset this. No, I'd like to inviting you to agility. I'd like to inviting you to think otherwise, to think by yourself, to make your own search on what is the great reset, what are the actual proposals that I try to move forward into an agenda, beside what we could do as global citizen, as citizen here of Montreal or wherever you are, and making sure that you could create your choice for yourself, for your community, for your organization, for your business. Okay, because for me, a reset, is it just a reset on the bank and the financial? Is it just a reset like you using, okay, we're going to cancel all these debt, and we're reorganizing the way we exchange together, so it's all system type of thing? We have to study Bretton Woods, what was before Bretton Woods, all that change, all the money printing, all the inflation. So there is a lot of question not to be distracted by. And so here's the thing. So I'm inviting you to be part of it. Be part of it anywhere you are in your organization. Talk about this subject. Ask questions. Study about it. Take all the subject that they talk and substantive them into something that you'd like to talk about. Because of course, we are not jack of all trade, but you have to have an holistic view. And I think by going to the Great Reset website, where what the link is in the description, and start your search there and find your niche and on what you'd like to work for the next years to come, and how do you actually going to be part of it or just a spectator of it, and then you'll be a victim. So don't be a victim, be yourself. Of course, if it's too much for you and this and that, but okay, you will live the consequences of any choice of others will have made. So then after, if you complain about it, I'm not saying it's too late, but so that's the thing. A lot of people talk about awakening. Awakening for me is when someone says, I have enough of being told what to do, and I don't like the way we live in my town or my village or my country. And now they start being activists. They start making a difference. So I'm not calling you all to become activists or what have you, but you could be part of it, because this is our world. This is our planet. This is our common experience. But at the end of the day, we always alone, not lonely. I hope you're not lonely, but we're always alone in this life experience, the experience we call life. And we have to interact with others, because it's part of this great dimension we are in. So I cannot believe that there are people out there listening to this right now who are um, who are just floating, flowing, yes, but floating, no. Go with the flow could be good, because if you resist too much, you're gonna break yourself. This is what I said before. But if you're too resilient, if you float too much, you will finish by floating. And if you float, it's like the fish in the water, you're dead. And if you're dead, the shark will take you and will gob you. So be very careful out there. See this as opportunity. Put some love into it. Let's move onward together. Study on business agility, the real principle of a decentralized way of organizing community to preserve the free choice and the free will, because otherwise, what is a life without love and free choice? And especially for those of us who believe, or those of you who believe, that we have only one life experience here on earth. Would it be a shame that you never had choice and you've been imposed by people who apparently think better than you? Is it the case? I say no to that, and I'm inviting you to look at business agility, how it could be one of the way, or adapting it to push it onward into a smarter world, because again, only the agile and the smarter and the HPI will survive. And don't let those HPI who pretend to be expert telling us what to do, because we are. We are not doing things. We are living. On that, my Agile Loungers, I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up wherever you are. Subscribe to my podcast at Their Real Agile, and spread this video, maybe to spark ideas and to send my invitation. And please contact me at coach@agile-lounge.com, and let's start a conversation that will lead up to actionable item. On this, see you soon on the Agile Lounge. You just do Agile Lounge and you find me everywhere. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful evening. And love in Lakesh. All right. So YouTube, I keep the streams a little bit here. I close down the other streams, but for you on YouTube, again, remember this live cast was recorded with the kind of visual, but actually the visual was more an aid. I'm sure you didn't need it, and we will anyway. We'll see how it goes with the recording, and we might push it again. But I think I'll keep it as is here on YouTube. So again, guys, if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate if you actually help me out on Agile Lounge to grow and to grow together. If you have any questions, if you'd like to be part of my team that I try to build on conscious agility and business agility, please reach out to me at coach@agile-lounge.com, or go to my website and contact me through there, or even through any social media. Share that video to inspire other people to talk about this and to prepare for actionable item that moving forward, because we have to get takeaways, and takeaways will be being together and building this new world that's coming. I think it's very important. And so I thank you very much for your support. If you follow me, if you like what I do, also in the description you have links to send me a donation of your wish via PayPal or via Interact for those in Canada. So thank you again, Agile Loungers. I love you. I praise you. I hope you're doing fine, and see you soon. Have a wonderful day or evening. Cheers.